Excellent. Now I just have to test to if that. Yes, excellent. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome back from lunch. I just had like this wonderful Bulgarian ayran and that completely cured my hangover. So thank you very much. If you haven't had that, try it, it works. So, I'm gonna get an entire bucket load with me. So, okay, I'm here to tell you a little bit about Twilio, how we disrupted a $2 trillion industry and changed communications forever, like that. Do we have software engineers, developers here? Hands up. Hello, my friends. Anybody who's working with software engineers, product developers, project managers? Right, excellent. Okay, welcome to the family. What Twilio does is we serve software people. We, as software people, believe that everything we can solve as soon we transferred the problem into our software space. That was the idea in 2008 when Jeff founded Twilio. It's headquartered in San Francisco. We are about like 260 people now. I have checked this morning. We are hiring so many people. It's like around 260 for the moment. We launched our European headquarter over almost 2 years ago. We had 12 people in London, and we have a little office in Berlin. That's me. Right, and from there on we just said, okay, we're again surfing software people. Let me tell you a little bit about software itself. So, can you remember like those really ugly, remote controls, and like they had nice little colors, but sometimes the button didn't work anymore, or you needed a button and it just wasn't there, so you had to buy a new hand device. So that at the moment software people come in there, and then we have the Apple device, which, at that point where I move it into the software space is because I can change everything on that Apple device. I can change everything. I can ship something quickly. When I made a mistake, I can remove it. On that other old model, I mean, you can probably hurt somebody with that when you throw it to somebody, but that is not useful at all. Same here, this is, again, we are in the space of the old dinosaurs, yeah? So payment. I don't know how it is in Bulgaria. I would love for somebody to come up to me later on and explain to me how it works with e-cash and here like that. I know in Germany, Germany is still a very cash-orientated business. That means small shops, restaurants, they don't take credit cards, not even debit cards. And the reason is because the banks charge them a fortune to actually have those very ugly devices. That's where the disruptor like iSettle and Pay11 come in, and just because they moved it into the software space and said okay, I have this little device, everything else, that service comes through the software. And with that, you just free people up to, disrupt the dinosaurs. Can I get a trend here? Number 3, quite recent, electricity management. How dare you to touch that? Well, Nest did, worked out pretty well, and it looks pretty. And again, very simple device. The technology works in the software. So, the core business of that, of course, is communication. I've just put that in because we were in lunch. So the thing for Twilio, because we are in the communications business, and our product to enable everybody else to come with us in the communications business is the API. I always explain the API is that is your mayonnaise for your sandwich. So, all of you want to make products. You want to develop a company. You want to develop a new business model. So what do? Is you create a sandwich. but you, of course, want to do the best sandwich in the world. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to grow your own tomatoes or that you have to, make your own mayonnaise, but you would buy in the best mayonnaise, wouldn't you? And that is an API, our API, for instance. Or also, how we say it internally, our API is the new dial tone. And now I thought I'm going to do something entertaining. And excellent. Okay, good. I was last night. I was like, I have to do something to make you wake up. It's very spontaneous. Sorry. So, before I tell you a little bit more what the API does and how we work with it, I just want to tell you a little bit about our dinosaur industry communication and how it actually works. Hello. Okay, I'll just keep talking then. Okay, you're all awake. Sorry, like every time when I see that black box, because this is communication how it used to be, telecommunication, text messages, voice messages, it's for software developers, it always used to be that black box. So I don't want to bore you with like the technical details, how to, when you communicate with telcos. And I'm trying to get to the next slide, sorry. Yeah, so I'm not going to bore you with all of the technical details. If you want to have it later on, of course, I can give that to you. Basically, in the good old days, if you wanted to have a phone number, if you wanted to send out text messages campaign, you have to talk with the telcos, you have to sign a contract. They charge you big fees monthly, annually, whatsoever. So, which is especially a problem when you want to do something spontaneously. For instance, for an event, you just want to send out a text message campaign, or you want to do a donation fundraise or something like that. You don't need that for an entire year, maybe for a day, maybe for 2 weeks. So, and so this is what Twilio does. Like, we are not opposing the telcos. We are actually working with them. We are doing the deals with them. We are buying everything into bulk. And then we put our platform on top of it, and then we resell text messages and phone numbers. So for the end user, for you, in the end, it's just like you just add your code connected to our API, and we have a very similar payment model. It's pay as you go. So that means you buy a telephone number per month, and you pay per call and per text messages. So what does that actually means is that you can go every time. That means for us, we could lose our customers every single day. And we've done that deliberately because we said, okay, first of all, it keeps us on our toes. Secondly, it keeps us genuine and authentic, because we know the people who are with us, our customers, are with us because they want to be with us. I don't want to work with somebody who's like, I actually would like to talk with somebody else, but you are just here. So, right, let's go back to communication as a service. And I'm far too fast for that slide. I'm sorry. So, this is how we changed communication. Software, moving everything into software, getting rid of all of the hassle, freeing it up, merging everything into an API, and then give other customers the opportunity to change something, to test something very quickly, very cheaply, and very uncomplicated. So, and then I thought, well, I'll just tell you some awesome Twilio stories, what actually people have done with the Twilio API. Number one, Path. So Path actually doesn't have a Twilio integration within its product, but what they did is they did a marketing promotion when they launched Path. So I don't know if you know, like actually the conversion rate of text messages is far higher than email campaigns. So what they did is just they launched a text message campaign with the link to the download for the app. Just super simple, easy. Implemented it after 2.5 weeks from 10,000 to 300,000 users. So you might want to think about it when you launch an app or something like that. Don't underestimate the power of text messages. Next, Airbnb. Who has used Airbnb before? Yay. Right. So you know that you can communicate with Airbnb hosts and Airbnb guests via text message without knowing each other email address or phone number. That is the Twilio implementation. So that also means we have something similar for eHarmony, online dating, where you don't necessarily want to exchange your details right away, but you still want to communicate with somebody. So like hiding those contacts, that is the Twilio engine. So eHarmony, for instance, also runs on that. Uber. Uber are our best friends. We've been with them since like almost the beginning. The cool thing is with Uber, every time when they launch in another city, most of the time we already have phone numbers there. So I actually just checked. So once Uber is going to launch in Bulgaria, we are already here. So they can rely on our implementation to launch in another country. Next, Pay by phone. I've noticed you can actually pay here with by a text message for parking with a car, something like that. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, something very similar. Of course, again, we talked earlier about going into a space and like doing something different. But they're already competitors, they are copycats whatsoever. But it's the key point is like being cheaper, faster, better. So it's something simple like just paying with a text message. That could be donations, for instance. That could be raising funds for something. With Twilio, you can do that. Another big example topic at the moment is, of course, security, two-factor authentication. It's like that new sexy thing these days out there. Well, Box is using us for their implementation. Right, and I hope Jonas is there and rose up from the party last night. So, of course, conference calls. I know conference calls sound like really old style, kind of like who's doing conference calls these days? We have Google Hangout and Skype. But, especially in enterprise and business, it's like people still want to have a phone number to call. Or like sometimes you just don't have internet connection, and sometimes just a phone call is enough. So, HipDial is a young startup from San Francisco, and they're using Twilio for conference calling setups. So talking about conference calls is also, for instance, in terms of call centers. You can run an entire call center with a web browser and a tablet without a problem, and we actually have customers who do that with the Twilio implementation. I don't know who worked in a call center before. I did when I was a student, a lot of people. It was a pain. It was an absolute pain, but at least technically it's better or easier and cheaper. Also, because we are cloud-based, that means you can scale up and down as quickly as you want to or need to. So one of our latest case studies I'm really, really proud of is our initiative for Parkinson's voice. So I don't know if it's Parkinson's disease is actually really, really tricky to diagnose. It costs hospitals a lot of money, and it takes a long time. A professor in the UK actually just wrote an algorithm where he found out that you can diagnose Parkinson based on your voice in 30 seconds. So we launched this a couple of months ago. It's still on a beta stage, but so he came to us, and it's just a very basic Twilio integration where his algorithm sits together with a phone number. You call that phone number, you leave your voice there, it gets diagnosed, and you will get a phone call back. You don't have to go to the hospital, and you will have a very, very reliable way to diagnose. So he is selecting voices at the moment. He needs a lot of voices, so please, if you want to support Parkinson Voice Initiative, just go to, just Google it and, call. And finally, yes, thank you very much. Finally, I was talking about software integration, but there was one thing we did a couple of years ago in Hackney. So back in that time, there was like no snow in London. So we teamed up with a marketing agency, and they wanted to do something like guerrilla marketing tactics, like something cool, which is like indirectly connected with the brand. So what we did is like, we had like a little Arduino board and connected that with the Twilio API. And then just randomly, there was just like a big picture on the wall, said like, call me. And people were like, yeah, okay, yeah, fine, like I just like to call people. And you called that number, and or you can also text message, this was the same thing. You called that number, and then you just heard like a really nice, lovely jingle bells. And above you, a snow machine got triggered. And you all did that with a text message and a voice call. Right, so these were my stories. I just wanted to leave you with something my IT professor told me years ago when he tried to indirectly teach us hacking. Well, obviously he couldn't do it officially. So when I learned programming, he spent time with us, giving us examples, like look at this, look at this, look at that. And every time he walked out of the room, said, and now think. I gave you the tools, I gave you the ideas, and now think what you can do with that. And very elegantly, I want to leave you with that. Think about it. It used to be a dinosaur. It used to be a dinosaur. Now you can do so many great things. Airbnb, Uber, I would believe, they wouldn't have been able to scale that quickly and that easily if they wouldn't have telecommunication made that easy for them. So in order to support you a little bit, and I can actually move to the next slide. Look. I'm probably like the only one who has problems today, am I? That system is probably still on lunch, isn't it?
Maybe it's a good time to start in beyond telephony and PowerPoint.
So, well, I can text message that all to you because I have all your phone numbers now. Sorry, I don't. You can give it to me later. So, here's a voucher code. Signed up for Twilio. Try it. That voucher code will give you over 3,000 text messages for free, and some phone calls as well. So please test it. Break it, rock it, ship it, whatever you want. Tell me about it, please. So, I can write a blog post about it, or, I can invite you for a drink. But use it, because that's what it's there for. Thank you very much.
Let's get to questions. I think we can do that. You want to be a bit more interactive?
No, it's fine. It's like anybody. I'm around during the day, so you can.
Twitter is a company that has one of the most amazing APIs. So, is there a hand there? Because I'm here. There.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the microphone. Hi. So I saw this paper phone thing. Does it work in Serbia and Bulgaria, or is just country specific? I mean, integrating with Twilio, making it able to pay with SMS and stuff like that. Because during the recent floods in Serbia, this might be a great chance to help them out.
Yeah. So I double-checked. We do have voice and text message services for Bulgarian numbers. We definitely do. I think a Bulgarian numbers cost $1 US a month. So it's quite cheap. but you can use the Twilio API internationally. It's just more about like with what phone numbers you want to send it and receive it. Serbia, I just have to double check, but Bulgaria definitely is possible.
But I asked for this paper phone, like, can you charge people who are calling for like more than it's usually cost? And
Yeah.
does it work in this region?
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't come out of the box from Twilio yet, but Twilio is a part of that. You can build on top of it. But like, yeah, in the end, for the end usage, that is something, and people have done that before, like donation, campaigns and something. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
I came a little bit later, so I didn't catch it.
Do you want me to do it again?
No. I just wanted to ask you about competition.
Yeah.
If you review that, I'm sorry. But what do you think of Duola?
Of
What is
whom?
for payments?
Duola, the electronic payments. They're very popular in the USA.
Yeah, but that is a payment system. That is not an API.
No.
That's
You talked about electronic payments and how you make them easy, not just SMS.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, for us, is like we don't do like payment systems. We do the API. So people develop payment systems on top of the Twilio API. So it can be like that two competitors can use the Twilio API. That's possible. We are just give you the mayonnaise. If you make like a bio wrap thingy with it, or if you make like a burger with it, that is completely up to you.
Thanks.
And I need to cut that off. So thank you very much for the questions. Please give a round of applause for Lisa.